Now that we're familiar with the draw tools, we'll use the modify tools on the objects that we've created with the drawing tools. Using the line tool, draw a rectangle starting at point 0, 0, that is 3 inches wide and 5 inches tall. Remember that we can use double quotations to signify inches and single quotations to signify feet. Again, because we're using dynamic input, the distance that we type into the command line is relative to the point we've just made. So when I type 3 inches, or just 3, it'll go in the direction that I was pointing, which was to the left, 3 inches. Finally, you can close shapes or objects simply by using the command C during your line. We'll create the same rectangle using the polyline tool. Specify your starting point, being 4 inches to the right, or 4, 0. Type 3 to go to the right, 5 up, 3 to the left, and C to close the object. One more time, we'll create the rectangle by using the M-line or multi-line tool. As you can see, the justification is set to top, or left justified. Let's change it to B for bottom. Now, enter again the point 8, 0, and we can go the same direction that we were used to before. 3 inches to the right, 5 inches up, 3 inches to the left, and C for close. Now, as we mentioned, we're going to use the modify tools on these shapes that we've made. The first modify tool that we're going to use is the move command. Let's move this rectangle 4 inches to the left. Because we're pointed in that direction, we can simply type 4 and it will move that way 4. The second command that we will use is the copy command. Much like using move, select the object or objects you want to copy. Select the command after you've selected the objects and choose a base point. Let's move this one back to 0, 0 by moving 4 inches to the right. Now we have the same rectangle made out of line segments, one to the left and one to the right. The next command that we'll use is the rotate command. Much like copy and move, simply select the object, choose rotate or type rotate, specify your base point, and move according to which way you want to rotate. Let's rotate according to our polar coordinate, -45 degrees. Now that we have these two intersecting rectangles, we'll use the trim command. Trim command is very helpful when you have overlapping lines and you only need certain portions of those lines. You can start the trim command without having anything selected and it will prompt you of what you would like to select. You can simply click and drag, click enter, and then begin trimming whichever lines you do not want. Now, we have a shape with a single outside border and no interior lines. Now, we'll move this object using the mirror command to the other side of our drawing space. Simply select the object, mirror, and then specify an axis to mirror about. Go ahead and select the top left corner of this M-line rectangle. Click, and then drag whichever direction you'd like it to mirror about. It'll ask you if you'd like to erase the source object, which means erasing the original position of the object. By default, it will be no, but for this, let's enter yes. Offset allows you to take a line or polyline and to create a copy of that line a relative distance away from it. This is again an additional helpful tool when creating walls, much like the M-line tool. If we try and use offset with a single line, it only does it for that one line segment. We're going to use these line segments from this dynamic shape that we've made and convert them into a polyline to be able to offset them in the way that we've done with this rectangle. The command we'll use is pedit or polyline edit. Polyline edit or pedit can be found under the modify panel under edit polyline. Because we're editing multiple line segments, we're going to select M for multiple. You can then click and drag over all of the lines you want to adjust and click enter. It'll ask if you want to convert them to polylines. Go ahead and hit yes. It'll then ask what you want to do with these new polyline segments. We're going to J or join them together. and at a distance of 0. You can click Escape to exit the command. Now, our individual line segments are one single line in this dynamic shape. Then, apply the offset command at 0.5 or half an inch and select the object. The last command that we'll use is the Scale command. Scaling allows us to enlarge or reduce the size of the selected object in keeping the same proportions of the object. Specify a base point and then choose the scale that you want it at. And we're going to scale this to twice the size. To finish up our modifying, choose any 3 layer types and make each of these objects a different layer. Again, there's multiple modify and draw tools that we haven't gone over, but these are the ones that you'll need most often. Save this file to be turned in later, and next time we'll go over creating a condo using these tools and modifications we've learned.